very suddenly. Oops.
Oh. You didn't give me a countdown.
Yeah, sorry, there was no countdown. It just went live.
Who knows how long we've been live?
For about 3 seconds. Yeah, sorry, there was no countdown because it was like, would you like to go live? I was like, I would love to go live. And it said, you're just live. There's no countdown. It's just, you're just live now. I was like,
Okay.
we got Tactical Mainframe in the chat. We got, who else? We got Steve Coburn. Dude, that's just a great last name. Coburn. Isn't there like a detective named Coburn? There should be.
Columbo, maybe.
Yeah? Okay. We got Jeff Crumpley, the most British last name that I've ever heard. We got Betty Reyes in the chat. We got the gang. We're all ready to roll. Oh, man. We have such a show today. Such a show. I was going to say a great show. We have a show. We have a show for you today. You guys are going to enjoy it, I hope. We're going to talk about tariffs. Who doesn't want to hear about tariffs? Am I right?
Oh, my God.
We got Steve Coburn saying my video's choppy. I think it's you, my friend. I think it's you. Maybe you need to stop blinking so quickly.
Maybe it's because there's no tweet.
It could be the lack of a tweet. Yeah, because on my side, Steve,
It's stabilizing tweet.
It's buttery smooth. Let me send out this stabilizing tweet and see if this helps. This might do it. Ready? It's going out in 3, 2, 1. God, I just love yelling that as loud as I possibly can. Sometimes I do it so loud that my guitars behind me reverberate. I can actually hear the strings vibrating.
I mean, you're far away from our microphone, so I don't know how loud you're actually yelling it.
I know, because I don't want to do it and blow out your drums, man.
Yeah.
I would hate to do that to you. Drum damage. I don't want you to get it. And this mic is so sensitive. Like if I just talk. Can you even hear me at all anymore? Barely. Oh, you can't? Oh, okay. I'm impressed. Oh my gosh, we have people here. Should we go ahead and get this thing started? Did you see the tweet action there, Lewis?
Oh, yeah.
You did?
Yeah. Baby, I'm quote tweeting it even as we speak.
That's it. That's what I like to hear. Oh, sorry. That was in the mic. Oh, man. Spooky Roland wants more bass. You can't handle the bass. You can't handle it. I bet Lewis has got a nice
Turn
bass
down
going.
to what? What was that? Isn't that what that says?
Dude,
Turn down
did
to
you
what?
guys see SNL this last week? I almost never watch SNL anymore, but Jack Black was on SNL, and I think it was one of the greatest SNL performances that I've ever seen. Did you see the sketch about the Flamin' Cheetos Preparation H?
Yeah. Oh, my God, I did.
He also did a sketch where it was like just him and a bunch of people playing bass. Did you watch the whole thing, Lewis?
I think so.
Oh, dude, you would have loved
People
it.
playing bass? I must have forgotten it.
I thought about you when I saw the sketch because like the whole purpose of the sketch was like how annoyed he was that he was trying to play in this band and everyone brought a bass and they were all just trying to play bass together and he was like, "We got too many basses. We need to get some more instruments up here." And then someone else comes out and they have a bass too, and they keep bringing out like instruments that look like other instruments, and he realizes there's actually just a bass. Like one guy brought out a keyboard. And he was like, "Oh, finally, we got someone who's not played a bass." And then he like opens up the keyboard. It turns out it's a case for a bass. Oh, dude, the Flamin' Hot Cheetos Preparation H sketch is one of the all-time greatest SNL sketches. I put that up there with like the cowbell, with oh my gosh, I'm spacing.
Christopher Walken.
Will Ferrell.
Will Ferrell.
And Christopher Walken. Yeah, but Will Ferrell. Yeah, man, I actually haven't seen the Minecraft movie yet. It's doing crazy good, which I'm super happy to see. And from what I've heard and from all the memes I've seen, I mean, Jack Black just carried that movie on his back all the way to the U.S. Mint. I mean, which is crazy if you think about it, because, like, Jack Black is Jack Black in every Jack Black movie, and people haven't tired of it yet. And I was a little leery like when I heard he was going to be in the movie because I'm like, are people worn out on him yet? He's been in so many live action movies, animated movies, and no, man, he seeing like what he's become and his ability to perform from where he used to be. Like if you watch old school Jack Black movies, they're kind of all over the place, and some of them are weird. Although there are some of them that are really good, and in some of them he actually gives serious performances, like Bernie which was a great movie, I thought.
Is that about Bernie Sanders?
It's actually not. It's actually not about Bernie Sanders.
Weekend at Bernie's?
That actually, if they did make a Weekend at Bernie's, I think Jack Black should be in that movie.
I have absolutely no interest in seeing the Minecraft movie, but I do think it's hilarious that there's going to be like, I mean, this Christmas season, so many Christmas toys and stocking stuffers that are action figures of just Jack Black, just
That's
a middle-aged white guy.
I mean, eventually it will just be Jack Black in all movies, and Jack Black, toys all over the place. I mean,
does he play like multiple parts in this movie?
I don't know. I haven't seen it.
Oh,
maybe. Don't spoil it.
I mean, I've even heard about this movie, and I don't know anything about Minecraft.
I think you could see the movie and still enjoy it, even if you don't know anything about Minecraft. But from what I've heard, they've built in all sorts of like Easter eggs. Anyway, we don't have to sit here and talk about the Minecraft movie.
It's the chicken jockey that's everybody's going
That's
crazy
like
about,
the
right?
one that I have never seen anything like. I mean, people go berserk for that scene. Like, I saw someone brought a live chicken into the theater, and I think they chucked it. I'm not totally sure.
Where were you when this happened,
Yeah,
Irfan?
you know
You say
what?
you haven't seen the movie, but I don't know.
I mean,
I happen to know you've got some chickens.
there's a reason.
Somebody brought a chicken. I don't know who.
There's a reason chickens end up as your food. If you get too aggressive with a chicken and you run to, first of all, they're wildly inquisitive animals. They will get right up close to you. They're like, "Bark," and they have to like turn their head to see you, right? Because their eyeballs are on the sides of their head. So like they're constantly like looking at you sideways, bouncing their head up and down. And as soon as they see people, like they go to be near the people because they, I don't know, think they're going to get fed or something. And if you get aggressive and you start approaching it too quickly, they freeze and they lift their wings like this, almost like they're on a platter, like they just completely freeze, and you can just literally just go there and scoop one up. And I'm like, no wonder you guys are food. You have like the worst defense mechanism I've literally ever seen. You freeze and raise your wings as though you're presenting yourself on like a platter with other vegetables surrounding you.
Well, pluck me.
You think they would flap or something? Now the roosters, on the other hand, I wouldn't get near one of those things, man. Like one of the most aggressive species you've ever seen. Like that thing, it's like bouncing its head around. It's got way too much ego, and if you even get close to it, it will chase you. It will peck you. It's unbelievable, man.
What if they have razors on their feet?
Yeah, well, I think one of my old roosters might, man. This guy who wanted to buy him from us.
Oh my God, really?
So this is a whole nother story. We don't even
That's
have time
terrible.
for this.
How about
just a short version? This guy comes over, and I was like wondering why this guy wants a rooster because they're illegal in Seattle. And
roosters are illegal?
Yeah, they're illegal in a lot
Because
of
of
places.
cockfighting or because of the
Because
crowing?
they make too much noise.
They're just too annoying.
They're too annoying. And so this guy wants to buy my rooster, and he comes over, and I'm like, look, this guy looks like he is involved in cockfighting. He just has the look of a guy who loves a good cockfight. And I was like, do you have a way to like carry the rooster? And he's like, oh yeah. And he has a box that's like the perfect size. Now, according to him, he's never touched a rooster, been around a rooster in his entire life. Right? This is the first time. So I was telling him, I was like, we got to get the rooster, and the rooster is fast. And if we get close to it, he's not like the females. He's going to bolt. And so we got to go in there in the coop, and we got to get him. He might get out of the coop. So I go in there, and I'm like chasing this thing around, trying to grab him. I can't.
I wish
The
I had
rooster-
video of this.
Oh, God. If you want to feel a complete loss of all self-respect, try chasing a chicken, man. It's one of the most embarrassing things that you can do.
Greased pig is right up there.
That might be true. It's like getting pantsed in the gym. I mean, I put the loss of dignity in the same category as trying to chase a chicken around your yard. And so I can't do it, man. This rooster is running all over the place. I can't catch it. And he's like, blah, 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 blah. Feathers flying everywhere. So this guy is like, let me try. So I back out. His first try, he goes in there, dives for it, grabs it by the feet perfectly, puts it in the box like he's done it 100 times. That rooster's
Chicken
definitely
wrangler.
got. Yeah. And it's like bowling a 300 your first time, There's no way. That guy definitely had some razor blades in his car prepared for the rooster's feet. But what can I do? I did my due diligence. Like I tried to, I asked him all the questions, and he said he just wanted to breed his chickens, and he knew how to breed, stuff. So I was like, okay, all right. What are you going to do?
How much did you get for the rooster?
$20.
Jeez, that's it?
I know. My wife was pissed because she's like, you sold it for $20. I was like, look, our neighbors were not happy. Like, we didn't know we had a rooster because it's very hard to sex chickens, right? It's like to determine what sex they are. And you order them in the mail, which I could do a whole nother tangent just on that. You get chickens in the mail. Okay,
this is
Isn't that
definitely
weird?
an off topic.
You can't pick them up from like a local farmer's market or anything?
You probably could do that too, but like you could order chickens in the mail, and a lot of people do it.
In the
So
mail.
these chickens show up, and you can't tell until they start growing, and then it's like, wait a second, that rooster's like a foot taller than everybody else. His legs are like 4 inches around in circumference. Like he's got like biceps. I mean, there's all sorts of stuff that starts to happen, that you can tell that the chicken is a rooster, and then he starts crowing one morning, and immediately, as soon as the crow happened, my neighbors, they're texting, they're pissed, like, why do you have a rooster? Roosters are illegal. I'm like, dude, I know.
God.
We had no idea. Like,
So annoying.
It was extremely urgent that we get rid of this rooster because my neighbors are now pissed and like, I'm probably on the verge of calling the police to come to our house. And I'm like, we're going to do what we have to do to get rid of this thing. Don't worry.
Harboring a rooster.
I know. He was a beautiful animal too. And so at that point I was like, I was happy to get anything. I would have given him away. If that guy was like, I will pay you nothing, but I'll come get your rooster, I would have said yes, because we just had to get rid of him. And so I was just, happy to get rid of him. I mean, that freaking bird probably ate way more than 20 pounds worth of food in the time he was here, or $20 worth of food.
Don't you have like a stump and an axe? And a pot?
Yeah. That's what my wife, she's like, we'll just kill him. I'm like, I'm not killing that dang thing. You want me to kill a bird? I don't know how to kill a bird.
Really?
You got to catch
Well,
him.
that guy didn't know how to catch a rooster until he just did it for the first time.
It's not like the bird goes, oh, are you going to kill me? Okay. Puts his neck out and just waits. Thing's fighting for its life, Like, that rooster he does not want to be picked up. He's aggressive. You'll probably lose an eye in the process and possibly a nipple,
I wouldn't try it shirtless.
Now that's a sport right there. That's a man who picks up a rooster and tries to kill him with no shirt on.
Oh my God, how have we gone so far astray? But you know what?
We should just
I
wrap
do
it
want to
up.
know how many chickens show up in a box and how are they packaged?
I think it's like egg containers, egg cartons.
It's a really
maybe-
big egg carton.
And they got
Maybe
live
they're just
chicken
they got
sized.
They're loosely
li-
packed in there.
Are they show up live or are
They're
they
alive.
eggs?
They're alive chickens in a box. They show up.
God,
Does that not seem illegal to you?
that is bizarre.
I mean, have you seen the way like USPS handles packages?
Yeah, and there's live. How many?
I don't know. I mean, it's like
Like a
ordering
dozen?
a dozen eggs. I think you can
Well,
order
look,
them.
I mean, when they just huck the box from the sidewalk, like over your fence, the box, because the chickens have wings, it just slowly
it floats down. Yeah.
slowly descends to the ground until
Yeah, that's exactly right. Works just like that. Oh man, it would suck to be a chicken. What a bad life. All right, look, should we move on and actually do the show?
What a great idea.
All right, let's go ahead. Let me cue up Mrs. You Know Who. Oh, Mrs. D. Where's Mrs. D? Oh, Mrs. D. Oh, my dear, did somebody say sex? Oh, no, Mrs. D. We were talking about sexing a chicken. Oh, that's something that El Caney wanted to do. I think it has a different meaning.
Oh, now that might be a bridge too far.
Is it? Oh, that's what I thought. Shame on him. It's probably not even legal. Mrs. D, no one wants to hear anything about that. Please never tell us about anything that he's asked about or asked you to do. We're here to talk about the Apple news. So if you don't mind, we'll get this thing rolling. In 3, 2. Hello, and welcome to the CultCast, the best 30 plus minute Apple conversation you're going to hear. All week long, I'm your host, Jeff Last. Join me today. Though illegal in most states, there's no doubt his disciplinary tactics have been hugely effective in increasing Cultimac typer writer typing speeds and significantly reducing grammar errors. Some call him a tyrant, but everyone calls him the best in the biz. He's the managing editor of Cultimac. Lewis Walls is here.
It's great to be back.
Also with us, he's been saving his money for a pair of custom pointed ears and practicing his neck pinch. The Romulans and his LARPing party have no idea what's about to hit him. He's a writer for Cultimac. Griffin Jones is here.
Good evening. Airphone, I used to ask you at the top of the show, when it was a time when you were considering buying a new computer just about every week, whether you had made any purchases. But I mean, I don't know what to ask now. Are you happy with your MacBook Pro and iPad?
Oh man. So yes, I absolutely love my MacBook Pro. It's probably the best machine I've ever owned. I love that that it's 14 inches. I was really worried that would be too small, and it's not as comfortable in the lap as the 16 inch. Funny enough, I actually like the 16 inch better in the actual lap, just because it stays in place and doesn't shift all around when you're moving. But that's the only thing I don't like as much as the 16 inch. Everything about it, absolutely terrific. I like the color scheme that I got. I got silver, by the way. The machine is absolutely insane from a power perspective. So no regrets on that whatsoever. I also love my iPad, but like the funny thing about the iPad Pro, and this is a testament to how good Apple makes the iPads and how overpowered they are when you buy them. Not a lot of difference between my iPad Pro and the or the M4 iPad Pro and the A12X 2018 iPad Pro that I bought. I mean,
Did you notice a difference when you briefly returned your first M4 MacBook Pro and went back to your M1?
my M1 Max,
Yeah.
not really. I mean, for what I typically do from a performance perspective, not a ton. And that's on me. Probably the same for the iPad, as I'm not using it to do all the powerful stuff that they built it to do. So not a huge amount, but it's definitely snappier, and I think the biggest improvement for me, which has nothing to do with the M4, is just the size difference, and also I wanted to get it before the tariffs went into place. Now I had no idea the tariffs would ever get nearly potentially as bad as they seem to have gotten. So I wasn't even expecting it to make that huge of a difference. I was like, oh, maybe prices might go up 10, 15%, but nothing like what might end up happening. Although it seems like Apple maybe actually does have a chance of carving out an exception for themselves. If not, dude, there's no way they're going to be able to eat the cost of the increase. Now, I think it is worth noting that, like, for the tariffs, that I think that the tariffs apply to the manufacturing cost and not the retail cost. So Apple may be able to eat a chunk of it, but they're going to definitely pass on.
Certainly not 125% of it.
No way. No way. Anyway, we'll talk more about that. We'll talk about how tariffs might impact your next Apple purchase. Oh my goodness, what else do we got? I have no idea because I closed my notes. Oh no, here we go. iOS 19 leaks. Probably our best look yet. We got a surprise leak about, well, it's not a leak really, about iPhone 17 Pro. Some surprise details there. Griffin's going to tell us about why an all-American iPhone is impossible, literally never going to happen. I might argue a little bit. And then we'll wrap up with your voicemail message. I'd say messages, but we only have one that we're playing this week.
Singular.
Yeah. And we've got some other stuff mixed in here as well that you all might find interesting. Before we dive in, if I may, go ahead and promote a darn fine product. CultCloth.co. CultCloth.co. Did that work? Oh, thank goodness it worked. If you're planning on getting a new iPhone, probably not at this point, or you have a new iPhone, or you're going to be buying a new Mac, or you're going to be buying anything Apple because you want to get in before the price skyrockets, which I hear is actually happening at Apple stores at large.
Or if you're not buying anything new, but you want it to feel new.
Yeah.
By making it sparkly clean. Just like the day you got it.
Okay, I was looking for the angle on that. Yeah, that's actually a great angle. You're like, I don't want to pay triple the price, but I want my device to feel like it's new. The CultCloth can do that for you because it keeps your devices absolutely sparkling clean. It just occurred to me that my prices for this product are going to go up probably. I didn't even consider that.
You don't weave these yourself in the backyard?
Yeah. Maybe I should. Lewis. Yeah, it just occurred to me. Oh, I bet my prices are going to significantly increase.
I make physical products that are imported from another country.
Yeah. Okay.
All you need to
loom.
great.
That's just great. Yeah, well, the looms that make CultCloth are like $1 million, so I'm not sure that's in my capital expenditures in the future, but we'll maybe. Not just probably have an electrician help me install it in my backyard. Yeah. In any case, absolutely terrific product. Keeps my Apple Watch sparkling clean, especially the little divots around the digital crown, which virtually no other cleaning cloth can reach into. Screens, keyboards, mice, televisions, the dashboard of your car, anywhere that you or anything you want to keep clean and you want to see it stay clean and stay feeling like it's new. CultCloth can do that for you. It's just the best cleaning cloth that exists. They work well in your glasses and sunglasses too. In fact, that's one of the prime uses that I have for mine. And I don't anticipate raising the price anytime soon. I hope we don't have to do that. We'll see. But
Okay, what kind of pitch is that? Everybody, buy a CultCloth now
I mean,
before Irfan has to do the math and raises the price.
I mean, look, you probably
You've
have
got some stock, right?
by the time you hear this, you probably have 10 to 15 minutes before I quadruple the price. So act now. Prices will not last. We'll see what happens. But CultCloth.co, use code CultCast at checkout to get a free extra carry cloth with orders $20 plus. Plus, even more importantly, you're supporting me, supporting the show, which we deeply appreciate. CultCloth.co. Okay, let's go ahead and dive in. Let's talk about... Did I open the wrong story here? I sure did. Should we talk about iOS 19, Lewis? And while you get into that, I will bring up the actual URL. I don't know why I have that wrong one open.
Oh, dear. Yeah, John Prosser's back again, sharing more recreated renders of iOS 19.
Okay.
These are supposedly based on even newer build than what he showed off last time in a video. In this latest video, he shows that Apple might adopt rounder squircle icons and rounded UI elements throughout the iPhone's operating system. Everything from home screen icons to control center toggles, everything gets like rounder.
I see what happened. The wrong URL is in here. The wrong URL.
God, I can see it right now.
Yep, look at that.
That's terrible.
Someone would be disciplined if they didn't live in the rural area of Ohio.
Well, someone must have changed the permalink.
What?
I don't know how that happened.
No, it's that's the second story. It's got the same URL twice.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Now I am the fool. Don't worry.
Watch
I'll
your
cut
back.
this out.
Watch your back, Griffin. Watch your back. All right, keep going.
Let's see. Let's see. Unlike the circular icons in Vision OS, and we've been here about for weeks or months now that iOS is going to look more like Vision OS. Unlike the circular icons in Vision OS, Apple plans to use icons with a corner radius of about 30 degrees.
You know what? It is
According to
kind of a
Prosser.
dramatic difference.
Yeah, it's
It looks
kinda
way
weird.
more modern. I like the little shine they've got on it.
I mean, certain elements of this thing look great. You know, like other other UI elements kind of look good with that sort of different corner radius. You know, if you look at the video, just revamp the system toggles, animations in line with it. It all kind of looks the same. What's weird to me, and it's probably one of those things where you get used to it after a month or a week or whatever, but the circles or the app icons, they're not quite round and they're not quite the regular squircle. They're like fat little, chubby squircles I don't know. It's just weird. It looks bizarre. And
Hey, stop body shaming the iOS 19 icons.
Thank you. I was just thinking that. I am grossed out, actually, by your rhetoric.
I'm kind of a stout little squircle myself.
That is true. Hey, can I just say real fast? So, Prosser's messaging me as we speak.
You're kidding me.
I'm dead serious.
The John Prosser.
And he just sent me a screenshot of what these icons are based on.
You're kidding me.
He told me I can't share it on the show, so I won't.
No.
So I won't show it to you, but I would say that what you see here is a very accurate representation of what appears to be in this screenshot. So I don't know if John's listening. Hopefully you didn't mean don't share that you're messaging me. I won't share the image, obviously.
Oh, jeez.
I don't think so.
God.
I think he meant just don't share the don't share the render. Yeah, you got it. I won't. Okay.
So people aren't familiar with Prosser. He runs Front Page Tech YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And what they've been doing lately is showing. They've been recreating mock-ups that he says are based on things shown to him by sources within Apple. They look at it. They recreated in the video. And their videos are really, I think they're great. They're irreverent
well
and
produced,
they're
for
very
sure.
well produced videos. One of the things in this video, Prosser says that some of the app icons look normal at first, but when you press them or tap them, they turn into those weirder squircles, right? Like it's like almost like an animation. And who knows? I mean, as he said in the video, maybe Apple eventually is going to get this to where they are completely round. Maybe they just animate from square to round, or maybe
I think he said in the video that it's probably just to disguise the actual design of the home screen. Like, I imagine the shipping version of iOS 19, they'll all actually be squircles, and you'll only see the squircles. But in this pre-release build, it only shows the squircle app icons when you tap on them, just to disguise it.
You're just casually introducing a new word to our vernacular. A squircle.
Squircle. It's a squared circle, and already the apps or the app icons already are squircles. It's just
I've
they
literally
would be
never heard that word before. Okay.
Squirklier.
They do look squirklier. Yeah, you're right. A squircle.
Yeah, it's a great word.
We're in for a hot squircle summer.
I kind of like the squircle, to be honest with you. Like, the more I look at these icons, the more I like them.
Yeah, well, as Griffin was saying, Prosser was just kind of speculating that maybe this is like a stealth mode, so people can test the new operating system on their phones.
Yeah.
Apple employees.
Let me see if I can play a little bit of this without.
So it would look normal, and until you actually interact with it. Let's see. As part of iOS 19, Apple will also supposedly revamp its system apps, add pill-shaped bottom tab, which is actually looked pretty cool in the video. A bottom tab with slick animations in the Messages app. The search option will shift to the bottom. I love that idea. I am so tired of searches at the top of the screen. Any searches they can put at the bottom is fantastic.
Yeah, that is.
So like
nice.
I think it might be a little hard to describe this if you're not looking at it, but generally apps that have like the tab bar navigation on the bottom, like where you can tap between the different tabs for like, different top level hierarchies. Like in the music app, you have a tab for library, Apple Music, radio, search, whatever. Instead of seeing all of those options at the bottom of the screen all the time, it'll be sort of minimized, and you can tap on like the current icon to expand it to like sort of bring it up as a menu. And then you'll also have like a search bar visible all the time. And this will probably vary app by app, but generally Apple is going away with the tab bar, saying like, instead we're going to have like this sort of dynamic menu at the bottom that's like floating and can, transform into different other controls. And I think this actually does. I know that Prosser and Gurman have been sort of sparring, to say the least, over the accuracy of these rumors. But to me, this design sort of lines up with what Mark Gurman said, that, and I think he put something like kind of incredibly vague in one of his newsletters from a month ago, that like iOS, in addition to the redesign, iOS 19 will be easier to navigate and will simplify whatever user interface. It kind of means nothing, but this would be an example of that if that is true. Like, this redesigned fluid tab bar.
Yeah, and it does look. It gives it a more three-dimensional look. Does it remind you of Vision OS a lot? I mean,
it definitely has Vision
a little
OS.
bit of
I would
like
say Vision
see-through.
OS vibes.
Yeah,
Vision OS vibe.
It's not quite as functional because, like on Vision OS, you have like the main app window, and then you have like a vertical strip of icons on the side, and then your eyes look at them, and then it expands to like show the labels and all that. This isn't, this doesn't function the same way because obviously your phone doesn't know where your eyes are looking, but it does seem to, like Arfan said, Vision OS vibes. You tap on this thing and it expands into a bigger menu.
That part of it looked cool. I mean, I wasn't such a fan of the stout squircles, but anyway, so despite these changes, Prosser says iOS 19 will not introduce major functional redesign or new features. That can't be true, right? I guess he means major new features. Perhaps my favorite part about all this, as Irfan was pointing out, is the sort of back and forth between Prosser and Mark Gurman, a frequent source. Yeah.
Oh man,
I don't know if you watched the video, but Prosser even he referenced Gurman a couple of times in the video, including a rather disparaging term that he used for him.
No, I'm sure it was in jest.
Yeah, I'm sure it was too. But then, just as this happened before, after Prosser releases this thing, makes a big splash, everybody's talking about the latest iOS 19 leak, mock-up, whatever. Gurman, without mentioning Prosser, basically says, well, all these images you're seeing floating around are, not accurate. They seem to be based on a very old build. And Prosser even goes into that in this video. He's like, that's why we're doing this. We got back with this source. We checked more and whatever. And of course, immediately after Prosser releases this latest video, Gurman replies on a news story based on, this video. Gurman replies on X, this isn't going to hold up well.
It will be off by like 10 pixels, and that would be called a win, right?
Yeah, I love it. It's too bad Griffin couldn't hang out today. I don't know what happened to him.
Yeah, dude, look, he's completely frozen, but look how happy he is. R.I.P. Griffin. You had a good run. Griffin just messaged me. He said he lost his internet connection.
The wind blew in central
no,
Ohio.
Yeah, no joke. That actually might be it. He has surprisingly robust internet for using a cell tower for his connection and for where he's located, which I don't actually know where that is, but it is somewhere rural in Ohio. Like all his neighbors moo. So he's got surprisingly good internet.
But it's surprising how little bandwidth it actually takes. I mean, like I've done this from Ohio using Verizon using the iPhone as a hotspot many times.
It's amazing that works. By the way, just kind of aside, a news item. So we do this show live every week, obviously, and you can watch it live at thecultcast.com. You can always go to watch.thecultcast.com to see our archive of YouTube videos if you all ever want to watch it. But we are loose. So this is how the sausage is made, and maybe this is not interesting, so I'll do this quick. They're retiring Skype in a month. We use Skype to make this program, and Skype has a very specific feature that we need to do this live stream. And we're like scrambling to find a Skype replacement that supports NDI output. So if anyone knows of any good platforms that allow you to use NDI output, let me know on the all new X if you would, because I can't find anything that does what Skype does. And if we don't have NDI output as a feature, I don't know that we can do a video format of this show. Now, that doesn't really matter because most people listen to the show. So, in fact, a lot of people I think would prefer if we didn't do the video feed. Like some people have commented.
Might be a win-win.
Some people have commented that ever since. Look how cheerful. That's like the most happy I've ever seen him. Look at him.
I can't see him.
You can't? Oh no!
I just see two.
You're not looking at the feed. That's why.
No. Oh, I got it right.
Yeah, I love that in OBS. If you get disconnected, it doesn't actually disconnect you. It just freeze frames like the last frame that it received from you, and you're just forever there with whatever expression you were making.
It is nice that Griffin has such a good smile on his face.
Look at him. It looks like someone just gifted him a new hair dryer. Look how happy he is. Anyway, so we at a certain point we may, I don't know, need to not do the live video feed. I don't know. So just a heads up, that might be coming down the pipe. We've been making all sorts of changes to the show. And this is why we don't change the show, because whenever we do, stuff becomes difficult, or we have unexpected issues. We'll see what happens. But before we move on, I want to say a big thanks to David Howard for the $29.99 super chat. Love this podcast. When will Narc Furman be texting Arafat? Oh, dude. Any moment now. Any moment to give me his side of the story. Yeah. I would love to have Gurman on. I don't know. So the thing that I don't know about Gurman, I don't mind saying this openly, like I'm so grateful for all of his scoops because they make our show much more entertaining. I really don't know if Mark Gurman likes us. I just don't know. Like the interactions I've had with Mark, I get the sense that he doesn't, and he probably wouldn't want to do our show. Like he and I chit-chatted in the past a little bit, like not very much. And I always got the sense that he just wasn't really a big fan of ours. And though I would cherish his fandom, I don't know. Maybe our sense of humor is too wacky, or he thinks that we're not serious. He goes
does not compute.
Maybe it's
the humor does not compute.
The eye just starts twitching. It's like you've given him a product or a question with two logical solutions, and he's not sure which to pick. He goes on the Mac Rumors show occasionally, so he does do podcasts from time to time. I would welcome Mark. Mark, if you're listening, I would welcome you to come on. We won't even have any fun while you're here, just to make you comfortable.
Jeez.
Dude, that guy's probably a party animal. The guys that are serious, like it's like the Japanese, right? Like a very serious culture. But then you look at their game shows and you're like, dude, what is going on here? It's like they're very serious about work and they're very serious about play. I have a feeling that's Gurman. Like he probably has the all-time longest record of staying on the bull at the bar, right? Like they don't even want to let him get on the bull because he'll be there for like 3 hours, right? And no one else can use it. That's probably Gurman. Thank you for that super chat, David Howard. Leander Kinney's going to enjoy that $30. Yeah, John, if you want to come on the show, you're welcome anytime. We'll have you on. You can even bring Sam if you have to. Yeah, he's Prosser's in the chat.
Oh, okay, great.
Yeah, if you need a wingman, you can bring Sam too. Just ask him not to say anything if you don't mind.
Jeez.
I'm just joking. People take me too seriously. It looks like we got Griffin back. Welcome back, Griffin.
He went outside and he
back.
shook the tin can.
Yeah, that's great. He went up there and he adjusted the metal antenna. It was like a lightning storm had blown it over, so like it was a life or death maneuver. All right. Well, speaking of stuff that you guys might be interested in, here's I think this might interest people even more than this iOS 19 story, which we're trying to describe to you, considering that like 95% of our audience listens to the show and doesn't watch it, and here we are talking about design changes. I'm so sorry. Let's talk about this real quick. iOS, I can't even say it. iPhone 17 Pro might defy the leaks. Guess according to who? Well, his name starts with Narc. How about that? Dude, Lewis, look at you on the cough button. That's incredible. Good catch.
It's impressive, right?
Jeez, no kidding. That looks like a big one, too.
And it was
Your whole body was shaking?
shook things up.
He's coughing like crazy. So, iPhone 17 Pro lineup might not ship with as many design changes as the rumors initially suggested. Guess according to who? A new report says the iPhone 17 Pro is pretty much going to look like the iPhone 16 Pro with maybe some small changes. Let's see here. We won't talk about all the rumors again. I guess I probably should. Rumors circulating since last year indicate the iPhone 17 Pro will feature major design changes, with Apple moving from titanium edges to aluminum. I always thought that was a weird one because they just moved to titanium and they came from
And
aluminum.
it was like such a big deal.
Yeah, and it was such a huge thing. Right. Those rumors say the iPhone Pro will switch to a part aluminum, part glass design. The bottom half would use a glass panel to ensure wireless charging. I just got a new wireless charger, by the way. Keep your eyes on Woot, man. Woot's got some great deals every once in a while. I got a new wireless charger from Belkin. Thing's great. Cost me like $15.
What?
Gurman came into the chat in his newsletter and said, yeah, all those things that you've heard, don't expect those things. He said iPhone 17 is going to, quote, not expect a, quote, particularly bold new look. The upcoming iPhone will look a lot like the 16 Pro, with the back camera module sporting the biggest design changes, which I would be okay with because I really like that new design. But it won't look at all like the iPhone 17 Pro renders floating around the internet. Is Prosser still in the chat? Let's see. Okay, I'll read it. I assume this is John Prosser. It just says FTP. I can't say it. Sorry, John. FPT. FTP and FPT are so similar, and everyone knows FTP because, like, the transfer protocol, right? Okay, John says, I like how at first Gurman said I faked the iPhone 17 Pro leak, and now is like, it's not going to be that color probably. Sorry, pal. Hey! If you're like more than 10 pixels off in your render, that's going to be the story, right? That you got it wrong. Let's see. According to Gurman sources, the iPhone 17 Pro will not adopt a two-tone back. Instead, it will stick to a uniform color that matches the rest of the device. Okay, so not a huge change. Gurman notes it will mark the most significant design overhaul since the iPhone 12 in 2020. According to Gurman, let's see here. Apple is seemingly reserving the bigger design changes for the iPhone's 20th anniversary in 2027. If the iPhone 10 was anything to go by, we could see the company introduce a completely redesigned iPhone. According to Gurman's report, it will make extensive use of glass.
More extensive use.
More extensive use of glass. Thank you. The long-delayed foldable iPhone also apparently will launch in 2027 to celebrate the iPhone's 20th anniversary. That makes sense to me. We'll see what happens.
I have a
Anything to
theory
add,
on the marketing
John?
name.
Yeah, okay. What's that?
In 2017, they unveiled the iPhone 10, spelled with X. I wouldn't be surprised if in 2027 they unveil the iPhone 20, spelled iPhone XX. And then I can even imagine the video too. Like it starts like, Apple reveal video, dramatic zooms. You can't really see what the product is. And then it zooms out and you see the front of it with an X on it. And then it opens like a book, like a folding iPhone. And then you see XX.
Okay. I'm trying to visualize what you're saying. The iPhone XX, I just feel like that's a lot to say.
Well, Apple would prefer you call it iPhone 20.
Yeah.
Going
Okay, there you go.
Again.
All right. We've got it on record. If you get it right, lunch is on me, Griffin.
Okay.
Any Subway in your local area? 6-inch on me. I'd offer the 12-inch, but those things are so expensive now, dude. It's crazy. It's like $70 for a foot long. Not to mention, it's kind of hard to spend more than $5 at a Subway. Wouldn't you agree? It just feels like $5 should be the price. It should never go above that. All right. I've dazzled you with my wittiness. Let's move on. Let's see here. What else do we got here? Oh, back to me.
How did you wind up with 2 in a row?
I don't know. That doesn't often happen. I try to avoid it, but
That happens when I make the show notes on Monday and then nobody signs up for any stories and then we settle it 5 minutes before we go live and then we find out that, oh, wow, we didn't plan this very well, did we? No.
Well, I would say we planned it as well as we need to because it's just going perfectly so far. Let me talk about tariffs. If you were wondering if tariffs might affect you, well, I don't see how they couldn't. Let me open up the story. A lot of customers are obviously very worried about tariffs, and I don't see how you couldn't be because I don't see how the tariffs are not going to affect every single product that you buy, according to what we've seen so far. Now, the saga of the tariffs is like the saga of MoviePass. Every day changes. You don't know what's going to happen, and you will see massive swings from week to week. I mean, just this week, if you haven't been keeping up, there were all these tariffs that were put in place, and now all the tariffs have been paused for 90 days, except for things that come from China, which unfortunately is where the main Foxconn Foxconn factory is.
Like, yeah, Apple has diversified their supply chain a little bit, but not very much. Still, like, well over 95% of the iPhones are made in China.
Yeah, and
some just happen to be made in Thailand and Vietnam.
Right, and obviously that's not something that you can change quickly. Apple employees said customers voiced concerns recently over tariff-induced price rises. People want to upgrade before prices skyrocket. I heard there was like a absolute swarm of people hitting Apple stores going to buy stuff because they want to get in before the prices go up. Some estimates say top iPhones priced at $999 since 2017 could top $2,000 a piece after tariffs take effect. Griffin, you seem to know. What was the final tariff that we arrived on for China? Wasn't it like 120%?
125%.
125%. Now, I don't know if I mentioned this while we were recording or before the show. I think the tariffs apply to the manufacturing price and not to the retail price. So it's hard to exactly know how much the tariffs will affect the final price. But I think obviously enough that Apple and TC particularly is not going to just swallow it. You're going to end up paying for it. And we could probably do a whole hour on like what tariffs are and how they affect prices and stuff, but I don't think we need to do that. Almost every customer asked me if prices were going to go up, said one worker who described panic buying among customers. Oh, this is good for my Apple stock. Maybe this will end up being a good thing for me. As an Apple stock owner, it's like, oh, better get in there and buy quick before the prices go up. Apple declined to comment on the situation, obviously. Sources indicate Apple's domestic retail stores over the weekend topped prior years in some big markets. Dude, what's going to do to Vision Pro? I mean, Vision Pro is going to be it's basically going to tank sales of Vision
Are
Pro.
they still
I would
making
imagine.
Oh, no. All 12 of their sales remaining for the year.
well, yeah. cancel those 12 sales, TC.
Don't you think they have enough in a locker somewhere?
They might actually.
Yeah, there was actually the rumor that they were going to stop the production line like a few months ago.
Yeah.
Maybe that happened and they've just already made
and they just have
all
like
they
a
needed.
giant warehouse of them or something sitting in like the countries where they think they'll get the most sales. Who cares about Apple product? I want to know what's going on with Nintendo Switch 2. That's what we need to know. They canceled the pre-orders and they kept the release date in place. But, you know, everyone's wondering. I mean, look, we're like months and months away from iPhones. A lot could happen before the iPhone gets released. But like the Switch 2 is supposed to get released in mere weeks. And it's going to be one of the hottest, you know, pieces of technology that you can get your hands on. And Nintendo, they canceled the pre-orders, presumably to weigh the tariffs, which they hadn't even considered when they priced the Switch originally, even though the prices were raised 50% over the Switch 1. And so now with this pause in place, we might be good to get our pre-orders in, but like that's the thing, man. Like what's going to be going on with the Switch 2? Everyone wants to know. Well, I mean, maybe not everyone, but definitely me. So if you were planning on buying some Apple tech, I mean, I don't want to.
Well, here's the thing about Switch 2 prices.
Yeah.
I mean, first, I want to start off by saying I know not a lot of people listened to last week's episode because I just came up with a pretty terrible title for it that wasn't very engaging. If you want to hear Erfun and I talk more about the Switch 2 and you skipped last week's episode, listen to the after show from episode 693 where we talk about it for like maybe 30 minutes and Lewis almost dies of boredom. Next, what I want to say is that I did the math, and in Canada, the Switch 2 with the Mario Kart bundle is 699 Canadian Maple Leafs, you know?
Wow,
you do the conversion rate, and it's actually a little cheaper in USD, $492 US dollars currently. So if Nintendo has tariffs on you know, the Nintendo Switch 2 in Canada, in the United States, for Erfun and I mean, we're pretty close to the Canadian border. That's like a day trip and back. We could just buy one in Canada for cheaper than the regular price in the US and drive back.
It's only a 3-hour drive for me to get to Canada from here. Well, actually, less than 3 hours. That's to get to Vancouver. So, like, to get to actual Canada, it's probably 2 hours.
Yeah,
and
I mean,
there's
price,
some kind of store on right across the
time
border,
to the nearest GameStop. I mean, it's like 3.5 for me because I just go up through Detroit and it's like right there.
Now you're going to spend at least $60 in gas, so I'm not sure it's still worth it.
But again, the price might go up $150.
Well, that's true. Like you just don't really know exactly how much tariffs are going to affect it. In that case, it might be worth going up there. Sorry, Lewis, what were you going to say?
Well, you could kayak there.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I do on a regular basis. It only takes me 2 weeks.
Just cross Lake Erie.
Almost died 3 times. Yeah, I might consider that depending on what happens. I mean, I heard that the Switch 2 in Japan, with the currency conversion, was $350. But they region locked it, at least what I heard, in Japan because they don't want people exporting them and bringing them here. And so I wouldn't be surprised to learn that they're going to be region locking Switch 2s so that people aren't doing triage and bringing them from cheaper markets to here. It's going to be a hot console for sure. The thing is with the tariffs, like I was just talking with someone about this the other day. I was like, what's your top line price on the Switch 2, right? Like for me, $550, maybe $600 with the game. That's my absolute max, dude. I am not spending more than $600 on a Switch 2. If the tariffs affect it that much and the prices skyrocket, I'll just wait. Although, who knows how long you would have to wait before prices went back down.
I mean, the price is a little high for me because I no longer own a Switch 1, so I need to buy a new Pro controller and new Joy-Cons as well. So I'm already going to be spending like $650.
Oh, yeah. And actually, I hadn't even considered the accessories, which I also plan on buying.
The Joy-Con, the camera, if you want that.
That's right. I don't know if the Pro controllers that currently exist will work with the Switch 2.
They will, but you won't get the extra buttons and the C button. And I think there's one other weird little feature that doesn't work on the new one.
Which they're going to integrate in the game in such a way.
So in other words, it doesn't work.
Yeah, exactly. It's like all you can do is drive. In Mario Kart, you can drive the car, but you can't shoot anything. It's like, oh, great, okay. Yeah, so I don't know, but it seems like we might be in the clear. So now, this is kind of an aside, I realize that, but if you do want the Switch 2, when the pre-orders go live, which I bet they're going to announce this week, maybe next week. You got to get that pre-ordered in ASAP, man, because it's only, I think the Trump administration said any country that has come to the negotiating table on tariffs gets a 90-day reprieve. Who knows what's going to happen after that? I mean, anything goes. And so if you want that Switch 2, again, I don't want to cause panic buying here, but if I don't get a Switch 2, I'm going to be panicked. So, and maybe that's you too. So just to let you know, if you're wondering, if you're like, hey, like, what are other people thinking? Like, for me, I'm getting that pre-order in as soon as possible. I don't think Nintendo's going to raise the price. They'll probably leave it in place for now. And especially considering all the negative press they got. Go listen to the episode we did last week. To Griffin's point, we did like 30 minutes of exposition on the Switch 2. We talked everything about it. And I haven't looked at the numbers. I didn't realize last episode was so terrible. We should change the...
because it was part of the after show, I felt weird like putting Switch 2 in the title.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't really part of the real episode, but I should have just called it Switch 2 Talk anyways.
You should do it. Just add it in.
I'll retroactively change the title. Yeah. You know what? I'll do that.
Yeah. See if it tempts anyone else. Let's see here. Yeah, people are saying $4.99 max price, $5.50 for me with the game. Yeah, I think that's going to be it for me. I mean, it's hard to ask more than $500 or $600 for a console because that price alone rules out a lot of people. They're going to be like, can't do it.
I'm okay with waiting. I mean, again, like the newest console in my house is a Nintendo 64. So,
is that really? That's the newest one?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's right, because you got rid of your Switch. All right, let's move on. What do we got left? Okay, Griffin's going to tell us about how the tariffs might motivate Apple to start producing iPhones here and how, in his opinion, that's literally never going to happen. It's impossible. Mm-hmm. You shall not pass. Just imagine Griffin with a robe and a beard. This is your moment, Griffin. Let us know.
Don't get your hopes up is basically the summary of this story. So a top goal of Trump's tariffs allegedly is to force companies to move production to the United States. That's what I feel like people are maybe like reading into it and inferring that that's a goal, but because there are better ways to do that if that actually is the plan than implement these tariffs. But this is not a political podcast. The goal might be you might think that you would want to bring iPhone assembly to the United States. The problem is that that's not really possible. So it could be argued, you might think that, Apple's the richest company in the world. Apple has all these resources. They could afford to build the manufacturing lines in the United States. And that is true under ordinary circumstances. The problem is that if every tech company is expected to bring their manufacturing to the United States simultaneously, there would be a significant lack of resources when it comes to buying the machines to make the machines. You can't build a U.S. manufacturing facility if everybody is trying to build a U.S. manufacturing facility, and you would actually run into like a limit on the supply of these machines. Secondly, the machines themselves are going to be significantly more expensive due to the same tariffs on the products. A lot of these manufacturing machines are made in China, understandably. So Apple wouldn't be able to build new manufacturing lines in the US because they would have to import all of these, manufacturing robots also at the same higher cost, along with every other company that's trying to do this at the same time. Ryan Peterson, the CEO of logistics company Flexport, told Bloomberg, quote, "Because of the tariffs, because of the machines they were going to buy are too expensive now." So
that's interesting.
Yeah. And thirdly, even if Apple did have access to the machines, because they probably could win a price war with other companies, they could buy the machines if they really wanted to. But even if they were to do that, they wouldn't have enough people to run the factories. The U.S. unemployment rate is at 4.2%, so there aren't millions of people willing to relocate and or take on a menial factory job, much less all the people needed to build the new factories and won't be available to work in them. So there's a limited supply of humans who would take on these jobs as well in the U.S. Fourthly, the labor cost would be possibly an order of magnitude higher. According to an analyst who spoke at the Wall Street Journal, the cost to pay workers to assemble a single iPhone in China, like the total number of human hours, that wage in China is roughly $30, while in the United States that would be $300.
Wow.
Yeah, quite a bit more.
Which, it's hard to know. Is that the total cost of the iPhone? Does that
That's a cost of the human labor part of the iPhone.
to build each iPhone?
Yeah.
Okay. So that definitely is a significant increase in cost.
Mm-hmm.
That's really interesting. I think Tim Cook said a while ago that part of what prohibits them from building phones here is like we just don't lack the skilled workers and the factories and in the industry to build the phones here, which I think is true of probably a lot of tech. And to your last point here, like this is going to take years. Like if they were able to get this done quickly, I think quickly would be 3 to 5 years. Like that would be extremely quickly, right? Like I think more.
Yeah, the TSMC chip fabrications in Arizona took 5 years to open.
Yeah,
and that's just for the chips.
I
Building
think that
the iPhone
they could
is
do it
even more
faster if
complicated.
they like really put a lot of focus from like a government support and industrial support, cutting red tape, working with schools. I mean, there's so many things that would have to come together. Like they could do it, but I think realistically, you're probably looking at like 5 to 10 years before like the industry could be restored here to build this stuff.
5 to 10 years of dumping enormous amounts of money and getting in price wars that Apple does not want to get in. It would be an enormous undertaking. And, part of this, while the Tim Cook era of Apple did invest heavily in China to get them to where they are today, possibly they could have done better to hedge their bets and put all of their eggs, more than 95% of their eggs all in one basket of China. Because again, it is really easy to cut off that supply and make it, make all of their suddenly their entire manufacturing line is into question here. But
which I think, ironically enough, I would say is kind of like Donald Trump's point. It's like, from nationally, is if you're looking to one country to fulfill all of your manufacturing needs, and you have any issues with or you have any issues with that country, they can cut you off. And it kind of reminds me of a specific example during the era of COVID, like with the whole mask situation. Like I think there was a while where China stopped shipping us PPE, like protective equipment, because they wanted to keep it for themselves. And what do you do if that happens with pharmaceuticals or, components for technology or whatever? Which is one of the reasons why I think Apple definitely needs to diversify. And actually, I think more likely than Apple moving manufacturing here, which I would love to see, they're gonna move it to other countries that are willing to deal with the administration and cut a deal, right? Like if Japan's willing to cut a deal, Foxconn has factories everywhere. They have a huge factory in India. Like it seems more likely that the Indian factory of Foxconn would end up being where the production gets shifted to, but that's going to take a while too. Like they're not going to do that in 6 months. Like that would probably.
They
take
already
a year.
started moving production lines to India years and years ago.
Right, which just goes to show like how complicated this kind of stuff is.
Yeah,
that phone that you have is a technological masterpiece. It's like the precision that is probably required to build and assemble that phone. I would imagine takes years and years and years and years to perfect. Otherwise,
and making it
you end up
cost
with a
under
Samsung phone.
$1,000 is the real miracle of it. Like, yeah, the technology exists, but making technology affordable and mass produced on the scale of literal billions, that's the complicated part. That's the part that gets you. So yeah, it is possible that Apple could over time continue to diversify their supply chain slowly but surely, but diversifying it back to the United States is a bit of a fantasy.
So there you go. Just another argument to, if you have an Apple purchase that you've been thinking about making, like now iPhones, obviously you can't do it because you got to wait for the next iPhone, but for like virtually any other Apple product, you can buy them now and it may be worth it. Again, I don't want to cause you to panic buy, but if these tariffs go back into effect, dude, it's going to raise the price of everything. And for a period of time that is hard to determine. Like it could be years. And I know we're all following this very closely. So buy that Switch 2 when it gets announced. You got to get your hands on it. Get a few of them, because once the tariffs go into place, you could flip a few of them on eBay. No, I'm just joking. Price
people
gouging.
are like
Get your price
doing the
gouging
math
right.
on people are doing like the math on, because Apple is making all these like emergency flights, like lifelining as many iPhones they can by Boeing 747 into the United States.
I heard that story.
And
I'm like,
people
how
are
many
doing
phones
like,
could that possibly even be?
well, somebody did the math. This is from like Daring Fireball. Even like 5 full Boeing 747s of iPhones only equates to about, we estimate, 12 days of sales.
Okay.
That is mind blowing.
Yeah. Because they just sell so many iPhones.
In the United States?
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, how many phones can you fit on an airplane? You know?
Well, people were like, some people were trying to do the math of like the volume of a box and like the volume of a cargo bay. But if you actually just look at like the weight limit of a 747, like Apple can't possibly exceed the weight limit of a plane. Like that's just a fixed number. And if you divide like, the weight of an iPhone box is well known because they ship these things, it's like whatever 9 ounces or something like that. And if you divide it by that, 5 planes, you get 12 days worth of iPhone sales.
Yeah, I that's why I was like, I don't even know that this story is believable. Like, why would Apple just start carting in as many phones as they can? Now, I don't know. To go through all that effort for 12 days of supply, to your point, like even if you're like a week off, it still doesn't make any sense. So I don't know that they're actually carting phones in via.
I mean, honestly, the least believable part of that story is that Apple can only get their hand on 5 Boeing 747s.
I know. Like you'd think that they would reserve all FedEx planes for like the next 2 months and have nothing but iPhones coming into the country, but I don't know if that's even possible for them. All right, look, let's move on, shall we? What do we got going on next?
I've got a cool tip.
Oh yeah,
for everybody
all right.
out there.
I'll let you pass out this tip. We got a quick story about a new app coming to iPad that you might be interested in. I got a Speakpipe message we're gonna do, and then we'll wrap it up.
So we've been a little pessimistic about Siri on this show. Is that fair to say?
No. You're being too hard.
Realistic.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, realistic. Well, this is related to. I'll connect the dots here. Apple has a new accessibility feature in iOS 18 called Vocal Shortcuts. If you haven't heard about it, Vocal Shortcuts let you control your phone by just speaking a command out loud. So it's kind of like, hey, voice assistant, that phrase that I'm not going to say out loud on the podcast. Hey, voice assistant, that activates your phone. Well, you can create your own custom trigger phrase like that automates your phone. So you open the settings app on your iPhone, you go to accessibility, and it's just an item kind of down at the bottom, vocal shortcuts. And, here's how you set it up. You just like you can have a vocal shortcut that runs a Siri request. So if you do use Siri for, playing a particular type of music every day or something like that, you can type in, whatever you want there. But the real magic comes because you can have a vocal shortcut trigger any shortcut that you have on your phone in the Shortcuts app. So
that's pretty cool, actually.
Yeah, you can pick any shortcut that you have installed, and then you type in like whatever trigger phrase you want to use, and then you just repeat it a few times to have your phone trained on it. And then just like that, it's like you have your own, hey, voice assistant command on your phone that can do basically whatever you want because shortcuts are an incredibly powerful feature. Now, where it connects to Siri is that if you want to, for example, use ChatGPT instead of Siri, or you want to have, Google Assistant, you just want to say, okay, Google, instead of, hey, Siri, or whatever like that, you can create a shortcut that just launches ChatGPT as an action and turns on voice mode, and you can create your own custom shortcut for it. So if you want to just talk to ChatGPT as if it's your phone's voice assistant, you can just create a vocal shortcut that launches that and uses whatever custom trigger phrase you want. How about that?
That's pretty cool, man. I might actually try this.
Mm-hmm.
And there's obviously a video that Griffin's made and an article on Cult of Mac if you want to actually get all the information and walk through all this and set it up for yourself. It's an accessibility feature, but so many accessibility features, it just makes the iPhone way more useful and allows you to do cool things that you might find useful even if you don't need to use it as an accessibility feature. So we'll include that in the show notes. What's that?
Use it for anything, Griffin?
I do. So this is an incredibly niche. I have a
That's shocking.
when I make coffee cups, when I make a cup of coffee,
Oh, right.
I when I drink coffee, I have a selection of 8 identical coffee mugs in my cabinet.
Okay.
And if I always picked like just the first coffee cup that I saw every time, I mean, that one last coffee cup would be used like way more times than every other coffee cup.
You wouldn't want
Because I only
that.
make coffee like once a week, or thereabouts. So it's not like there's going to be like a week where I go through all 8 coffee cups before I wash them all and put them back in the cabinet. So what I really want to do is I just want to pick a random number 1 through 8 and just have my phone pick a random number, and then I just pick a coffee cup at random so that they're all going to wear evenly over time. So what I did is I made a vocal shortcut that picks a random number 1 through 8. And so I just shout out to my phone, "Hey, what coffee cup should I use?" And then it tells me which number I should get.
Lewis, he might be a serial killer. Are you listening to this?
I heard it, and it's
This is the
been
kind of
filed
eccentric
away.
behavior they talk about on the news after they discover someone was a serial killer. He has the same shirt that he wears. He has a whole closet of the same shirt. He has a whole selection of the same mugs. He uses a Siri shortcut to decide which of the exact same mug he's going to use. How many times do you turn the doorknob before you open the door? That's what I want to know. Oh,
Well,
man.
look, I mean, do you not think about this? Like, if you always do your dishes just by like picking the top dish, the dishes on the top are always going to be worn down like much more than the other dishes.
So for me, that's actually a benefit because I like to have my cake and eat it too. So like I buy something and then I just don't use it because I like to know that it's new and sitting there. So like for me, I would use the exact same plate every single time, knowing that I have 8 replacements just waiting in the wings that are brand new.
Naturally, I have another identical set of dishes ready to replace my
okay.
current
Good,
set of
good.
dishes.
Well, I
but
thought you were
for the
psycho
dishes that
for
are
clearly
currently
not.
in my cabinet, like when I wash dishes, I put them at the bottom of the stack rather than at the top, so that they cycle through.
Of
Oh
course,
my
yeah,
God.
well, that makes
And
sense. I can't fault you for
The
that.
funny thing is, he said naturally
Of course.
he has a backup set of 8 identical coffee mugs. Oh my God.
See, I have a huge collection of mugs, and I do have duplicates of some of my mugs, but it's only because I love those mugs so much that if they ever break or they chip or whatever, I have a backup. I have a backup version. So, but I don't use them. They're not in the rotation. They just sit there, which sometimes I feel bad about. I feel like it's frivolous to have 3 of the same mug, but now I feel better because Griffin's got 8, and he uses them all. You know, which really makes no sense as one guy living in a house by himself. Like those mugs are going to last you for like literally the rest of your life. You'll have that one mug. You'll never need to buy another. Okay.
Oh dear.
That was very revealing. Let's see here. Should we just mention real quick? Let me just. Well, is this you? Is this you, Lewis? I'm not going to steal your thunder. Go ahead. Just mention it real quick. And let's move on.
So much thunder. Instagram may finally release a native
There
iPad
you
app,
go. There you go.
and the world will stop turning.
I actually would potentially use an iPad app, an Instagram iPad app. I hate that they don't have one. I don't use Instagram a lot because all Instagram is TikTok videos from 4 weeks ago. So you might as
I
well just
don't use
TikTok.
Instagram, and I don't have an iPad, so
Do you
Well,
want to
you're
read this
missing
crap?
out, man. I love my iPad. My offensively overpowered iPad that will never even probably break 5% of CPU usage for what I use it for, which, you know, is the story of every iPad. Is there any app that exists that actually takes full advantage of the horsepower of your iPad? I truly wonder that. Is there a single one? I don't know that there is. I haven't heard of one. Let me know, chat. Have I missed something? Yeah, they just keep adding in unbelievable horsepower, but, you know, the iPad just has no way to actually utilize that horsepower. And yet,
I bet Logic Pro and those things,
yeah, Final Cut Pro.
Final Cut Pro. I bet those.
maybe Final Cut Pro, maybe. But even Final Cut Pro, man, you'd have to have like some serious, you know, high fidelity videos on there, 4K, multiple 4K videos on the same timeline, effects, you know, 8K videos. But the thing is like if you have all that, you're not going to be using an iPad. So I still wonder if there's anything out there.
Well, I imported like one of my when I had the iPad, I imported one of my video timelines into Final Cut Pro on the iPad, and I mean, it worked perfectly fine for about 20 seconds until it crashed.
Really? Okay.
But those 20 seconds were perfectly performant. I felt like I was using the full M3.
Maybe you were. We've got Betty Reyes in the chat. I used to run Bluebeam on my M2, and it was horribly laggy. Wow, I don't even know what Bluebeam is. But I do remember that Betty Reyes seems to do something extremely technical because she's mentioned some of the other stuff that she does, and I'm like, wow, that actually does seem like it would push whatever machine you have. You might be the only one. Oh, now she says, but I think it's a bad app. Okay, maybe it's just that. Maybe it's the poorly optimized app. It's like I just opened it and it crashed. Okay, I think that's all the stories we got, right? Is there anyone even still here? I mean, I marvel at the fact that our concurrent viewers have stayed the same for this entire episode. Betty Reyes is saying SketchUp and Morpholio. I've never even heard of those. Architects seem like the ideal market for iPads. I actually think you might be right about that. Okay. Well, I think we've got one voicemail message. I'll remind you all, if you want to leave us a voicemail message, we'll probably play it on the show as long as it's not horribly offensive. If you want one of those to be played, you can send them to Lewis. He enjoys those. But you can go to speakpipe.com/thecultcast. Oh, wait, is it speakpipe.com/cultcast or the cultcast? Let me look.
There'll be a link in the top of the show notes.
Oh, there you go. You can also send us a
/cultcast.
/cultcast. There's no the. Speakpipe.com/cultcast. There will be a link in the show notes if you want to do that. Super easy to record a message. Like, you can just do it right there on your phone. You don't have to install an app or anything crazy. Here we go. This one comes from, I would say, one of our biggest super fans. He sends in at least 20 to 30 messages a day. So I just selected one. And here it is. This is Ben from Spokane, which is, right across the state from me. I love Spokane. Here we go. See, I thought I dialed that part out. That's what I was telling you guys. I had to edit out the weird connection noises.
I couldn't tell if that was a lavalier mic or somebody dropping in Alka-Seltzer.
Yeah, maybe he decided to have an Alka-Seltzer before the... So sorry about that. I thought I edited this part out. I must have uploaded the wrong file, but this will still have what we need.
Hello, this is Ben, the Apple loyalist, calling in.
I like Ben.
And I just want to say I am sorry about last week. However, you guys did a great job on the show, and I'm very excited about the iOS redesign that is coming up in iOS 19.
Oh, me too.
And keep up the great work.
Thank you. What a guy. That's Ben, and we always appreciate your encouragement, Ben. Normally we just get people telling us how bad the show is, how we need to do all these things differently. So it's great to hear that you're enjoying it, and we appreciate you tuning in. And I really like the cut of your jib. How about that, Lewis?
I love that turn of phrase. You know what I don't love?
What's that?
The fact that pizzazz is misspelled on our Speakpipe page.
Did I put
pizzazz is misspelled.
Did I put in too many Z's?
Not enough. We got a Z shortage. What is there, a tariff on Z's?
Hey, look, Z's are hard to come by these days, Lewis. You think they just give out the Z's? Do you know how much a single Z costs, let alone 4?
The most expensive tile in Scrabble, aren't they?
That's right. Yeah. Before you criticize, do a little bit of research, okay? All right,
look. It's only going to go up.
That's right. And they're only going up from here. Just wait until you're begging for Z's and then see who you come begging from. Yeah,
I know where to find the Z's.
I barely have enough for that word, so don't ask me. I've got none to give you. All right, let's go ahead and wrap it up there. That's all the CultCasts we have for you guys this week. But if you want the Z's to continue, you can come hang out in the Cult Club. Kind of sleepy around there lately, but that's because I need to go in there and liven up the place. That's not true. Griffin's in there, and he's having a party.
You join the Cult Club so that you can talk to Erfan and I, and then you stay in the Cult Club because you're joining all the other wonderful govs in there.
That's true, and there is a lot of fun banter in there, especially on release days. Now, look, is your $5 a month worth the Cult Club membership? Yes, but in addition to that, you also get the warm and fuzzy feeling that you're helping us out a ton, and helping us secure the future of the show. So support.thecultcast.com,
especially on weeks like this where we don't have any sponsors.
That is very true. Well, that's not true. We had Cult Club or CultCloth, which kind of helps. But maybe not. Let's see here. This has been the CultCast, the best 30+ minute Apple conversation you're going to hear all week long. New episodes of the CultCast come out every Thursday night. I want to thank everyone for listening and for hanging out live. And we will see you guys next time. Ooh. How'd you like that falsetto, Liz?
It's a very advanced accounting mechanism that is used for that.
Yeah. so advanced that no one understands it. But you know what? Everything helps. Every little thing helps. Firm handshakes to you as well, Adam Broussard. Oh, how much do we have to earn to get Buster to visit? I don't know, man. I'm not sure we can afford him anymore. Alex E. Heath might be available, though. I'll have to check. All right, everyone. Hope everyone has a great weekend. Stopping the stream right now.